Is it starting? Alright, there we go. Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do the Royal Rumble Predictions 2021. And joining me is the what's your name?
My name is Flame420. I used to be Think I got sick, but my phone got terminated, so now you're on my Flame channel.
Alright, so yeah, Flaming Kitty is here to do the predictions with me. So how you doing? And let's get this ready here. I'm looking at the card because it's a very interesting card to go into. But there is there might be a couple, there might be one or two matches added and maybe some more Rumble confirmations because we don't have the full confirmations, but we basically have the general idea of what's going on for the Rumble. Obviously we got the men's, the women's, the WWE title match, the Universal Championship match, the tag team matches, and then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match. I'm just gonna go in based on the way I think the card is going to be lined up. If this is the full card and they don't do any new matches, I think it's gonna start with Asuka versus Charlotte, or not versus Asuka teaming up with Charlotte Flair, or defending the titles against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I think this is just going to be a straightforward match. There might be Ric Flair interference. I don't know where I feel about it because the tag team, they just kind of put people together just for the hell of it. And also, not to mention, they're not, Asuka's the Raw Women's Champion, and it's kind of really dividing that fact. Where are you standing on this match?
Well, I feel like it's going to be straightforward. I have a feeling Rick and Lacey might have something to do with it to cost them the match. And Asuka with the championship, I don't think she needs enough. I don't think it's to say, so.
Yeah.
The women's title,
Yeah. I could see it going either way. I don't think they're putting that much time into it. I personally think Asuka and Charlotte are probably going to retain here, but there could be some interference too. But it just doesn't seem like Nia and Shayna are going to win because it seems like they're going their separate ways. But I don't know where they're going with it because it just doesn't seem. It just seems like they just don't know what they want to do with the tag team titles for the women's, even the guys' ones, but definitely for the women's ones for sure. Do you think who's going to win?
I have a feeling, since Charlotte and Asuka, they might have, a little confrontation, they might get each other's way. I think it's going to cost the match. So I think it's going to be Nia and
Shayna getting it back? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so, yep. So those are predictions on those on the opener. It should be an okay opener, but there might be some outside interference going in there. Next, I'm going to shake this up because I think they're going to do, I think this is just my take on this, is that they're going to have the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens last man standing match, because I think it's going to be an intervolt of how they divide it, but again, they might not do it this way. This is just the way I think they might do it. We have Roman Reigns defending the title in a last man standing, the Universal title in a last man standing match against Kevin Owens. This has been an intense feud. These two had rivalries before where the roles were reversed. Kevin Owens was the heel, Roman Reigns was the face. Now they've done very good in the reverse role where Roman Reigns is the heel and Kevin Owens is the face, and of course the champion too. But they have obviously Paul Heyman's here. I think this is going to be probably the more brutal match of them all because obviously they have the access to all the weapons legally in this match. I am suspecting someone is going to interfere on Kevin Owens' behalf, or on Roman Reigns' behalf inadvertently, and this is going to allow Roman Reigns to beat Kevin Owens, and it's going to also, at the end of the day, it's going to end the feud with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, because obviously Roman Reigns is going to have to move on to whoever he faces at WrestleMania and maybe a filler feud at the next pay-per-view. So I don't see this feud going any further after this because it's been going on for a couple months now. So I am giving Roman Reigns the win, obviously. But I think there's going to be some type of interference going on, which is going to lead to Kevin Owens' next feud. And Roman Reigns will then move on to whoever he faces at WrestleMania. What do you think?
I'm sorry about that. I think that Roman's going to it might be due to the help of Jey Uso, who will come in and, realize Kevin Owens, take him down. And then, for a surprise, I think Jimmy Uso might come back to defend Kevin. So we might get a Jimmy and Jey robbery, since Jey is now evil and Jimmy is now the bad guy. So yeah, I think Roman's going to win. It's going to be a brutal match. I'm expecting a little bit of blood. This is their final encounter. I do expect Roman to
Okay.
Well, we don't know. They might surprise us. We don't know.
Yep, they're definitely might surprise. Okay. So next after that match, we're gonna move on to the women's Royal Rumble match because I don't think they're gonna have the women's Royal Rumble and the men's one back to back. I think they're gonna have them all in intervals. So I think they're gonna have the women's one in the third slot here. Now, so far, the confirmed people in the women's Royal Rumble, there's 13 out of 30 entrances. So far that's confirmed. You got Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooks, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina Snuka, and Natalya. Those are the confirmed. There's definitely going to be more. And pretty sure we're going to have some legends and Hall of Famers possibly coming. I definitely predict Trish Stratus will definitely be returning for this. But obviously, I don't think a legend's going to win. But I think we're going to see a bunch of returns. And I was kind of thinking, like, where to go with this. Because the women's one, I think, is the one where I'm not sure who is going to win this one, because they can really go either way with a lot of different directions. Asuka really hasn't done much as the Raw champion. She's been, obviously focusing on the tag team titles and not really defending the Raw title, the Raw women's title lately. And I really think you really need to enhance that feud at some point. Because Sasha Banks right now feels like a more credible SmackDown or SmackDown Women's Champion on the SmackDown side over Asuka on the Raw side, who really hasn't done that much lately. So I think you got to have a Raw person win. And the only person right now, so far that's confirmed, unless they have like a surprise person come back, maybe a Ronda Rousey or a Becky Lynch, if she chooses to come back. I mean, she just recently had a baby, so I doubt it. But I know they've been pushing that from what I've heard. Out of all these people on the roster, or women on the roster, I would have to give this to Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss right now has done very good with the Fiend whole storyline, being taken over by the Fiend, and she's been working with Randy, which has been doing very, very successful. She's the only person who I could honestly, from who's confirmed, that could win it, unless they have a Becky Lynch or a Ronda Rousey come back. I think Alexa Bliss is going to win this.
Well, in my opinion, I think it might be a SmackDown superstar, and the one that I can see happening is Bianca Belair. My reasoning is because, they've been pushing her, really hard, and then, make people show her. She has been doing so much. She's one of the most talented divas in the WWE right now. And I think giving her the opportunity to fight for the championship, it would be good. Like,
Yeah.
represent some for NXT, like, she was back in NXT and stuff.
Yeah, she's another good one, too. I was just focusing more on the Raw side on it because I think the Raw really needs a credible, needs a credible, opponent for WrestleMania at this point. But that was just my take on that.
You go for Raw, I'm going for SmackDown. I think Bianca might take this.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if she doesn't win, if a Raw person does win, she could still end up getting the shot anyways. But there's also that scenario. So it's the same thing with Alexa Bliss, too. But that was just kind of where I was going with it. But yeah, it is a good pick, too, nonetheless.
Some legends, I would say that might come back, like, obviously
Trish Lita. Kelly Kelly!
Kelly, Molly Holly might come back as Mighty Molly or her regularly. They might bring back. I don't know why they made Alicia Fox a legend. Did she retire?
She technically is an alumni because she's not under contract anymore. But yeah, I mean, she's not really a legend, I don't think. But I mean, I guess they count her as a legend. I mean, she was a former Divas champion, so I mean.
They might bring some from NXT too, like Dakota Kai, Toni Storm, all those others, like some returns, like that collection, Ronda Rousey come back. They might do she might be in the Final Four. They might bring Becky to December 30. It could happen.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are our predictions. Those are predictions for the women's Royal Rumble. Next, what do we got? What's next? Next we have I'm going to say that it's going to be the Sasha Banks and Carmella match for the SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks has been very solid. I mean, to me, she was underappreciated since before she won the SmackDown Women's title. She had the Raw title for a brief moment during the tag team with Bayley, the role model team. But Sasha Banks, I thought, was always an underutilized star as the champion. She would have the title and she would lose it immediately right after, never getting a chance to successfully defend it. She's been looking very solid with her reign so far as the SmackDown champion. And she's feuding with Carmella. And like I said earlier, I think her reign so far has looked way better than Asuka's in recent months. Asuka's title reign really hasn't looked very good. Sasha Banks is she looks like, out of the two champions, she looks like the one that's better, in terms of defending, match qualities. She seems like doing it way better right now. And she's going up against Carmella, who's doing a new gimmick. And it's been okay, but I don't think it's enough for her to beat Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks will have the title at least until WrestleMania, and maybe even after that. Like you had said, possibly going up against Bianca Belair. Whether she wins the Rumble or not, I mean, you could still have her go up if they do have a Raw person win. So I definitely easily see her winning this match easily. It will be an okay match, but definitely will win and make her way to WrestleMania.
I can see Sasha, even though Carmella's new gimmick, they're gonna try to make her this badass woman, they're gonna make her classy, not yes classy, but this normal classy woman, this ring. And I don't think that's gonna be enough to take out Sasha. So they might keep her to the championship for a little while. So I'm gonna go for Sasha.
Yep, Sasha Banks. So next we have the match, the WWE Championship match. We have Drew McIntyre, WWE Champion, defending against Goldberg for the WWE Champion. Goldberg, this is the only world title that Goldberg has never won. He's never won the WWE the WWE Heavyweight Championship. He's won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. He's won the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE. He's won the WWE Universal Champion twice in WWE, and he's never won the WWE Championship. And so he has a chance to win it. I said a month ago in my video that he would win this title at the Rumble when this match was announced, and I'm sticking to that. Goldberg will win, and I'm even more convinced than I was when I made that video because of what they've been doing the last couple of weeks with The Miz, and I've explained this. What's going to happen is The Miz is going to cash in. It's going to turn into a triple threat. And his cash-in's going to backfire. Goldberg's going to spear him, jackhammer him when Drew McIntyre is out of the ring or like knocked out somewhere, like after they had just speared each other or whatever. He's going to be knocked out. Goldberg's going to then jackhammer The Miz, pin The Miz, 1, 2, 3. Goldberg wins the title because under triple threat rules, Goldberg doesn't have to pin Drew McIntyre to win the title because that's under triple threat rules. He wins the title because of The Miz, and then he goes on to WrestleMania to take on Drew McIntyre in a rematch for the title. That is my prediction. Goldberg wins the title.
My prediction is very different. I think that Drew is going to retain, and the only reason for that is when we get to the Royal Rumble match. But I can see Miz like doing his cash in and his backfiring. Drew McIntyre claymore him, like cashes in. That they Goldberg and fight, then one thing or he might take Goldberg out. So I think Drew McIntyre might take this.
Okay, we'll have to watch very hard on that because I'm telling you, Goldberg's gonna do it. Goldberg's my boy, man.
And when we get to the Rumble match, there is something I need to say about that.
Okay, so, well, speaking of the men's Royal Rumble match, that's the next one. That's the main event. That's the main event. So, there's a lot more confirmed on this Rumble than there is on the women's one. There's 21 out of 30 that have been confirmed. So far, only Edge, who's obviously a Hall of Famer, he's confirmed, but he's technically on the Raw side, so he should be actually on the Raw side, because he's technically on the Raw roster. So, it's a Raw spot, even though they list it as a Hall of Famer. So on this Rumble, we got so far Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, Edge, I just mentioned him, Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and then as of yesterday, Braun Strowman, who made his return on SmackDown at the end of the main event SmackDown match. They had a lot of Raw guys and SmackDown guys on the main event of that match, and Braun Strowman came in after the tag match was over and beat the crap out of everyone and announced he was in the Rumble. So Strowman is involved in this as well, which I'm happy that Braun Strowman is back because I like Braun Strowman. But in terms of the prediction, I've been saying this for a while now. I have been calling it the moment Daniel Bryan said what he said on Talking Smack, when he basically said to Paul Heyman that he is going to win the Royal Rumble. He is going to face whoever the Universal Champion is, and if it isn't Roman Reigns, he'll see him eventually. Like, the way he said that, the way that was all lined up, the way that was set up. Yes, he's been on a losing streak, but I think that's part of the plan for him to put over these other guys so he can look like the underdog going into the match. And then he goes out, he wins the match, he wins the Royal Rumble, the Yes Movement continues, and he goes on to WrestleMania to take on Roman Reigns. The storyline writes itself. Roman Reigns, the reason why people started booing him was because Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble when he won the Royal Rumble. You know, they turned on him. Well, he was in the Rumble, but they turned on him because they wanted him to win the Royal Rumble, and Roman won it instead. And so then they had the match at Fastlane. People still cheered for Daniel Bryan, even over Roman Reigns. So the storyline writes itself. Roman Reigns could literally make the claim that the reason why the fans turned on him was because of Daniel Bryan. So this is the ultimate, like, storyline right here. This is a storyline that literally has the built right there. Daniel Bryan is the guy that everyone chose as the face of the company. the fans chose as the face of the company, where WWE management chose Roman Reigns as the face of the company. So that is the clash. That is the storyline right there. Is perfect, and it writes itself out because Daniel Bryan finally gets the chance to win the Royal Rumble. He should have won 7 years ago, and not Batista. This is the one right here. Daniel Bryan wins it. I don't know who he would. I don't know who would be the final entrance. I know there are other guys too. That people say Big E's the Intercontinental Champion. I think he still needs a little more work in terms of being ready character-wise to get it. I know Shinsuke was another candidate because he recently won the Gauntlet. Never really. I think with Shinsuke they're setting him up for Fastlane possibly. To have like a tie-in feud with Roman Reigns. But I don't think he's winning the Rumble, especially he's not really that over with the fans. They tried it, and obviously they screwed it up with the AJ Styles WrestleMania match. And Braun, as much as I would like Braun to win, I know he's not going to win because WWE just loves to screw him over all the time. Lashley would be another good one, but, WWE has him as the U.S. champion right now. And in terms of Randy Orton, by the way, I think he's going to lose because I think it's going to look like he's going to possibly win, but then The Fiend makes his return and costs him the match, kind of like what Undertaker did in 2004 to Kane. He didn't actually physically come back, but he distracted him long enough so Kane could get eliminated. I think that's what's going to happen to Randy Orton. Is The Fiend's not going to actually be in the Rumble, but he's going to cost him the match by doing his vignettes and stuff like that, and that's going to be enough for a distraction for someone to come in and eliminate him. So that's where I think what's going to happen to Randy Orton. So what do you think?
In my opinion, I have to agree with you, Daniel Bryan. WWE has been pushing him they've been making a story about him going to win the Rumble. I can see it happening, but with Roman being the reason that people booed Roman because they wanted Daniel Bryan to win. And seeing Daniel Bryan taking it from, it makes sense. Because the only reason why they hate Roman is because they like Bryan. And they wanted Bryan to win the Rumble. So, I can see Bryan taking the victory.
So, you also predict Daniel Bryan to win?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now what do you think about the legends and all the other scenarios of these other guys as well, in terms of all the other entrants, because we only got these guys announced so far. So do you think there's going to be any more legends announced?
I think there might be a couple of them, not all 9 of them being legends, but at least 5, 4, 3. But and I'm thinking they might bring back Brock Lesnar.
Oh God, please no Brock Lesnar.
I know it's stupid, but hear me out. So they might have a storyline with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns because Brock was the original Paul Heyman guy, and they might have him be in the Rumble. He's not going to win, but he might dominate almost all of it. Then get eliminated by number 30, who I'm predicting is going to be Goldberg after losing to McIntyre earlier. He's not going to win, but it's going to piss the fans off because people don't like him. I know you do, but
there are people that still like Goldberg. It's mostly the younger fans that think that he's holding down the talent. But I mean, at the same time, it's Goldberg. He's Goldberg. I mean, and also, I mean, he did try to put people over. I mean, Roman Reigns obviously he put Brock over, but he was going to put over Roman Reigns. But obviously they had COVID, and obviously he did put over Braun Strowman at WrestleMania instead. But that would be interesting though if they had Goldberg, come to the Rumble. I mean, I know they did it with Roman Reigns when he was a challenger. I personally don't like them doing that, but WWE just doesn't care about storyline rule consistencies anymore. So I could see it happening. I could see any of those guys, any of those challengers or champions going for it. It would be really interesting if they did, and they had Goldberg win. That would be kind of really weird, but
I don't think Goldberg was going to win. He's not.
But yeah, that would be interesting if they had him they put him in the Rumble, just to be like, yeah, Goldberg's gonna win the Rumble.
He's gonna get his revenge.
He's gonna get his revenge, but no, I still think Goldberg possibly will win the title. Because, I mean, let's think about it, too. Because, who's he facing at WrestleMania? who would Goldberg face at WrestleMania then? Like, if aren't they having like they're having 2 nights again, right? 2 nights at WrestleMania. So they're gonna have to have like 3 big matches on each night. So
I was thinking maybe like when if he loses and he joins Rumble and he loses again, he might move to SmackDown and go for Roman.
oh yeah, that's possible. I mean, well, they would have to have a number 1 contender match or something too. That would be another thing. They would have to they'd have to have something creative then for that, unless they just decide, oh, he's gonna show up and challenge him in WrestleMania, which would be so lame. But then again, they did do that. They did do that last year with Roman and Goldberg after Goldberg won the title. So I guess they could do that, but I think that would just be so stupid if they would do that.
They had to resume like after COVID last year, like they didn't have to do the match. I can probably see them doing it now if Goldberg loses.
Yeah, but and then also that's another thing too, because Roman's a heel now. So now it would be like really weird because now people would have to cheer for Goldberg because Goldberg's the face. Like
Well, if Dan Bryan wins, then you have to go against Drew.
yeah, see, I really hope it. I mean, but you never can go past with WWE these days when it comes to this stuff.
They put these part-timers.
Yeah, you never know with WWE until it actually happens, but hopefully WWE goes with a safe approach and just does Daniel Bryan for Roman Reigns. But yeah, so that's the card. Hopefully this match will be good, or the Rumble will be good. And anything else?
I'm thinking like it might be good, but like there might be the littlest things might like take it off. Like Goldberg joining Rumble, like Brock Lesnar maybe come back, but I doubt it. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a decent Rumble. Like it's not going to be the best Rumble, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think it will be definitely good. I think it will be a good Rumble. Obviously not the best, but hopefully it's just not ending badly. Since there's no fans live to vocal it.
Hopefully they'll be smart and just finally make Bryan.
Yeah. So that's about it. For this prediction, I'm the S Ultimate Goku, and Flaming Kitty. Do you want to plug your channel?
Yeah. In the description of this video, I'll my channel will be in the description of
Yep.
Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. All right. So that's about it. I'm out. I'm the S Ultimate Goku. Peace.